at the south location on the map. I don't normally use cardinal directions.
I am LosirA.
We have I am LosirA. Getting his neck popped. Getting those Zerg lumps out. You get the creep tumors you get in your back when you have to play too much. Over here in the blue on the east side.
LegalMind.
Oh, guys, I forgot to mention this to all of our viewers at home. All the Koreans have decided to use their IDs in English. We will have no IDs in Hangul.
That's very nice.
That's so nice. I'm just getting warm, fuzzy, tingly feelings going down my spine thinking about how much the Korean pro gamers are supporting the foreign scene. The foreign GSL just doing so well. We got more and more people watching each season. We love esports. We love you guys. So thank you so much for joining us. Let's talk a little bit about this map.
For those of you who don't know what this map is or don't recognize this match, this is actually Terminus, the new GSL map. There are 16 bases for this map, and for the expansion, for expanding wise, Protosses have a really good expansion because it can be defended easily with 3-gate sentry while fast expanding. And as a Zerg player, when I tried out this map, as we are a reactionary race, we can choose to defend with a good mix of Spine Crawlers, Speedlings, and or with Roaches, depending on what kind of opening it's scouted. They also have a second natural, which has 6 minerals and 1 gas. And on this map, we have no gold.
We have none.
No
Nothing.
yellow patches.
No gold patches. We don't call them yellow patches. They're gold. They're baller. They're not bronze. Got to go with the gold. Mm-hmm. And that actually makes it pretty interesting because you know what? This is a very StarCraft 1-esque map. I think the pacing, the way it's going to go, I wouldn't mind seeing 1 gold base on this, but I didn't make the map. I think it's great though.
I think I have to say this. LosirA is pretty baller. He goes for fast expansion. He goes for 15 hedge almost every round. Even though the toss shows like, I'm a really early aggressive toss. I'm going to do 4-gate. I'm going to do fast expanding. Puts down the man the pylon.
Yeah, wait, what is his game plan here with that pylon? I'm starting to wonder. We don't see a forge here. Hold that thought. He's up to something. And just cancel. Okay.
It's to distract the drones, to confuse the drones.
I confuse the casters, that's for sure, because I don't.
Because it looks as shiny as the mineral patches.
I'm still confused by that. I don't know why. All right, guys, somebody submit the question for our interview because I don't know why he put that pylon there.
He's getting Speedling again, doing his famous Speedling opening. So as I was saying, I really like the way he plays. He is really confident in his Zerg play by showing 15 fast expand every round. So what do you think about that?
I think it's good. I think it's important to mix up your play style. Otherwise, you end up in situations like what I think previously was happening to Hydra, where it's like, well, let's face it, we know he's going to open like this. He doesn't have the tendencies that other players do to do these types of rushes. He's a macro guy. Hydra, of course, has mixed that up since playing against Jinro in his epic 6-pool game. But we'll see. But yeah, for me, I think it's important to be able to mix it up. But then again, this map is so different. You might as well go for some kind of macro play style.
Well, keep in mind that it's a new map and many players are still trying to get used to this. You do see that the toss player is going to get a sentry out. I don't think this time he's going to want to go for early aggression because he kind of did really badly the last round. He's going to go for the expansion now for sure, but not going to be aggressive this time.
He's going to take out that neutral Terran depot. So don't be confused, there is no Terran in this game.
Can you imagine if you are new on this map and you're playing the game and you're thinking, okay, this is a toss match, I'm gonna go for early roaches. You go up your ramp and you see this depot looking like, and you're like, oh my god, what is happening?
What is happening? You want to really have your mind blown. Imagine if this was like one of those, like in the single player, and I just go up and I capture that and it becomes my depot and I just raise it and make a barracks there. I believe the actual, hold that thought. I'm going to say something profound in a second. These Lings getting chased off, they will have to back up, but he did spot how many sentries there are, so he knows this shouldn't be some type of warp gate rush. It's going to be a quick expand, and he can confirm that now. If you see the Protoss have 5 to 6 sentries, then they're not attacking.
You can sit back. You can sit back and drone up.
That's right.
Which he's doing right now.
And he's doing a good job of it. just one quick note for those at home. The depot, the reason why we put a neutral depot at the bottom of the ramp is that so Terran couldn't wall that in from the bottom and stop people from scouting. So this map is essentially a forced macro map because Terrans can wall in with less structures that they put on low ground. And we didn't want that to be the case on this map.
Well, there are 16 bases in this map, so all of the, like I said, all of the GSL matches are gonna be really macro heavy. You do see that he's getting a Robo Bay up. We might actually be seeing some Colossus this time. Both players seem to be going for a long game.
Yeah, they're definitely investing in late game. Definitely for Zerg. Zerg getting evolution chambers, which is normally an indicator, especially if you don't see air attacking units. Get an evolution chamber. Always do that on a macro map. You want to have some upgrades on your side because not everybody's really taking care of their upgrades the way they should on some of these macro maps. You want to have your +1 or your +2, +1 for when the game really picks up.
He's actually dropping down his second expansion down onto the map, the expansion that I was talking about, where he has 6 mineral patches and 1 gas. That expansion actually can't be entered unless you go in through the natural and run into the expansion. So it is a safe expansion unless the toss is gonna do something exciting like warp dropping. As you can see at the front of the Zerg's base, there is a couple of spine crawlers.
Yes. Yes, he's Zerg's turtling pretty hardcore, and I think that's the way you want to do it. This is not a map where you want to get just like a ton of lings and roaches, like we saw in the previous game. Even though this game is not panning out too much differently from our previous game in the sense that it started out with several warp gates to expand. Actually, you know, now that I say that, that's really not fair for me to say because the first game was sort of an all-in warp gate rush followed up with a kind of plan B expand. This is a standard 3 warp gate sentry 2 expand build. By the way, guys, if you are Protoss and you're not doing this against Zerg, this is actually what you're supposed to be doing. This is what all the Protosses do on the ladder, all the good Protosses. Get, 1 to 2 Zealots, 5 to 6 sentries, expand, use the force fields to hold, upgrade hallucination, and scout with your Phoenixes while you tech up to Colossus. But in this case, he's getting blink. Interesting.
Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me any question.
Why do you think he's not spreading creep?
Well, let's check the energy on his queens. I mean, he's been droning pretty hard, and he's only just now started to do that. So my take on it would be, he wanted to use his 3rd queen to spread the creep, excuse me, and use his other 2 queens and just keep larva injecting. Because if you're fast enough, you could basically keep the queen's energy so low, you're not going to have money for a creep tumor. And on a map like this, even though having creep everywhere is important, I think getting as many drones out is probably going to be more important.
The Zerg actually has a lot of upgrades. He upgraded his overlord speed, he upgraded roaches, and he has +1. He has +1 on his roaches at the moment. I can also see on my map that he's slightly oversaturated on his main base. And the toss is actually dropping down his 3rd expansion right now. I think the Zerg is actually going to push soon since he's getting all his upgrades ready. And look at the amount of speedlings that are coming out.
Yeah, he is making a ton. And I want to note he's not going for Colossus in this case, and that makes sense. Now that I kind of reevaluate the situation, this is something else you can also do. You crank out a few immortals so roaches aren't a threat, and then you just tech to High Templars. Because look, as we said before, this is not, on positions like this on a map like this, it's not something where you're going to get a ton of roaches and zerglings early. So you might as well tech to the big, scary tech tree, which is, Psionic Storm, because that just wrecks any Zerg unit.
That wrecks most Feelings and Hydras. Every time I see that, I'm like, oh my god, my army is gone within 5 seconds. If he has like 6 High Templars,
whenever that happens, I have a big banana smell because I play Protoss, so I'm just like, ugh, I love this. It looks like the Observer's going to come over, he's going to scout this stuff. And, going off that point that you made, it's hard to get your creep all the way across the map, so it's going to be even easier to storm Zerg units that aren't on creep. The slower, they can't get away as quickly.
Oh my god.
So many Banelings.
I love how he's using Banelings against Protosses because this just defeats the people who say, Banelings are not going to be good against Protosses. Don't do that. But for him, he's like, I don't care. And he's doing something even more interesting.
Baneling bombs.
Baneling bombs.
That is sexy. I like it. Also, no, he's Baneling bombing the main here. trying to just get some probes. And
Oh, is he gonna catch it? That's catching it.
Oh my God!
Took down 3/4 of the probe line there, for sure.
Hey, but it's not done
Here
yet.
comes another one.
Oh, very nice. Now you know what's smart about this is because Zergs aren't going to go for quick spire off 2 base because they're so far apart. Protoss is not going to be as inclined to have as many cannons defending his expansions, which means there's not a whole lot you can do when a Baneling bomb occurs. And he is sticking with Banelings inside Overlords. I think that's smart because if you have a bunch of attacking units charging towards Protoss, the AI is going to target the attacking units over the Overlords. And when the Overlords get in there, if you just drop the Banelings on top of the Protoss, this is different from what we were talking about with using Banelings to break a Protoss's expansion. This is just taking out his army. Go ahead, sorry.
What he also can do is to put his Overlords in such a good position that when he actually catches a toss army, because normally they keep their sentries at the back, so he can drop all the Banelings onto the sentries, which would be one of the biggest problems for a Zerg player, which are the force views. As you can see, the toss player is going to move out right now.
And this is going to be interesting. A lot of this is going to come down to execution. He doesn't exactly have his Templars with his army, which is going to be pivotal. Oh, the Templars. Whoa, that was pretty scary, but the scariness isn't done yet. The Overlords are still there, and I think it's pretty clear, judging from the Baneling drops earlier, what the Zerg is intending to do with these.
He has 16 Speedlings on the way right now, and you can see he's going to move his Baneling bombs backwards. He wants to get more army before he can move out, but I think at this rate, he's going to be able to take down the toss, but he has a hallucinated Colossus though.
Yeah, that would be nice if he hallucinated Colossus. In this situation, nice force fields, but here's the important part.
Just drop it onto the Stalkers. Catch a whole friend of the Stalkers actually.
And that was very impressive. It looks like it might have been enough to deter the Protoss for now. But you got more Stalkers.
I think he really needs more Roaches, to be honest.
Here come the Banelings. And it looks like Zerg should manage to clean this up with ease. Stalkers are retreating. Now, it might look like this game could go on, but the big question is where's Protoss going to expand next? And just barely gets a blink out in time there. But I think actually Zerg can just go all the way back to Protoss's home.
Oh, catches all the cannons over there. He's gonna try to come in right now. Walks in more time plus, does catch the Banelings. Banelings gonna catch her throat.
Oh man. And the probes over here are not really well defended. Except for that one hero zealot that got in the way there.
The probes likely taken down by all the Banelings right now. You do see that the Roach army is coming in. Says GG. Oh my god.
GG.
I'm almost speechless by the way he used the Banelings. I was literally looking at
so
Jason with like my jaw on the ground.
Nice.
And he had to push it back.
It was actually like it was so impressive the way he did that. We don't normally see the Baneling bomb technique used as much against Protoss. I think we generally see it more against Terran. That was pretty cool.
The Banelings are like busting my heart. My heart is like pumping so fast looking at the way.
Your heart has been Baneling busted. I can't believe how well the Zerg handled that. I think one of the things we noticed there earlier was the way that he was able to focus on larva injecting rather than pushing his creep out because his economy was just so out of control. And on a map that's that big, Zerg can do stuff like that and get away with it.
He defended really well also. When he lost quite a bit of his army to force fields earlier, he deferred the Protoss army backwards by pushing his Banelings in front, and all the Overlords were sniped down by the Stalkers, but he did manage to replenish them behind, and he had enough of the Baneling army, which came in and took down all the cannons defense that the Protoss have, rolled in, took all the poor probes.
All the poor probes. They have families.
And took it really convincingly with the Roaches.
Yes. He definitely transitioned into the proper tech right after that. And I don't know if Protoss should have pushed in that situation. I think once he saw it initially didn't work, he should have just left. I think occasionally we see Protoss players get a little bit too confident with like Stalkers and Blink. And just because they have Blink doesn't mean they're going to get away.
He was banking on the Templars, but the Toss army was slightly in front, and the Zerg army actually moved into the back with the Banelings. He moved in from the back with the Banelings.
No, I remember that.
Caught all the Templars and lost like his only reason for pushing, which is his Templars.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what you want to do when you're pushing is then the Zerg has to respond, and then as they go in there, you sprinkle storms all over. I don't know if that's the best way to say sprinkle storms.
Do you think Colossus would have been better in that situation by countering?
I would have gone Colossus because that's just how I roll. But I don't know if I would have actually. That's just how I do it, But I don't know because these maps are so new. I haven't even had a chance to grind games out on them. I would have gone for Colossus. I don't know. I did also like what you said about making a hallucinated Colossus. I don't know why we don't see that very much because if you have like one or two hallucinated Colossuses, I don't think they're getting enough intel to basically say, oh no, that's a fake Colossus.
Well, like we said, you have to remember that they're all playing on new maps, so all the players are still getting used to it. The only time we have seen it being played was during the amazing GSTL.
Yeah. Yes, the amazing GSTL. If you guys haven't seen that, by the way, first of all, what's wrong with you? You're being selfish. You need to take care of yourself. You need to watch that because it's actually
really good.
Some of the best games. Yeah, the GSTL, the GOM TV, the Team League thing. I'm not able to say my own tournaments right. Check that out because that's where we first saw these maps, and those were easily some of the best GSL in general games, StarCraft 2 games that we've seen yet, up to date.
LosirA is really proving that he is a badass Zerg. He's unique.
Yeah.
The way he plays is different from how standard Zergs play, which is Roach Hydra army. He's like, who needs Roach Hydra? I'm just gonna go for Speedling, Veining, and a bit of roaches.
He's just gonna do it in his own style. Now we are gonna have interviews, but not right after this one. We're gonna have our interviews compacted into our second break. So we're gonna go to a little break in a minute here, but there's not gonna be any interview. Okay, so don't be confused. The interview is going to be after Game 2, and of course, game for the best of 3 number 3 and best of 3 number 4. We're going to have that at the end of the show. So we're mixing it up, trying new stuff here.
Who's playing next?
Who's playing next? Well, I don't know because someone put my sheet down here on the floor, and it wasn't me.
ST August.
It's August versus Loner, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
You know what? I heard that August sits next to July in the Startail house.
Yes.
Which makes sense, right?
Yeah, that's what I would do if I was playing.
If you're in August, you sit next to me.
Yeah.
Not saying I'm in July.
Actually, July's like one of the cooler pro gamers. Like, really fun guy to hang out with. No, I mean, it's a good guy to sit next to and talk to and stuff. So, Loner.
Another foreign player.
He's from China. Hello, all of our Chinese viewers.
Ni hao.
Ni hao ma. Thank you for joining us, and please spread the word throughout China about the GSL. Please do that. GSL taking over, and we are actually going to have our interview for Loner conducted by you.
By me?
By you. I didn't decide to tell you that.
If he wins.
If he wins. Yeah, that's right. I guess we won't interview him if he doesn't win. But yeah, we're gonna have that conducted by our wonderful Kelly, because Kelly speaks Mandarin. I speak it too. I'm just too lazy,
Yeah, you're giving me a chance.
I give you a chance.
Me a shot.
I might have to go to the bathroom. Might have to potty.
The first map is actually Terminus, the one we saw early on.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a TVT.
Yeah, it's TVT is a great matchup. The matchup me and Artosis at least have casted the most out of any human on the planet because of Season 2 GSL, what everybody was tearing. And actually, we're not even going to go to a break. So no bathroom breaks for you or me or anybody. You can't leave. The countdown's begun. Let's see if our Chinese player can pull through or if August is going to do this. Let's go.